What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all looking forward as we wind down towards the weekend of football, which, to be fair, thanks to the transfer window, it seems as if that's just been forgotten. Everyone's been talking about transfers for what feels like forever, and I'm personally glad that it's slammed shut. So tonight, I promise you, is the last time we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to look forward to football because it's back. Big up Liam, big up Billy, big up D, who's back. It must mean that Palace ain't losing. Big up Ash and big up Dave. Great to see you all, people. I hope you're all good. Want to start with transfers, going straight into it. I wouldn't say anybody on the panel is busy, but they're kind of busy enough. I mean, Southampton did some business. Forest are always doing business. They must need.
Forest have done business today.
I mean, yeah, Forest is still, Forest is signing players even though the window's shut. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's mad. But
you just signed me.
Maybe Forest need a few players. They only signed 25 in the summer. Do you know what I mean? So maybe they need another 25 to go. Leicester did some business. Obviously, Palace did some business. So it's worth talking about tonight, guys, and seeing where you're at with your teams and if this changes your expectations going into the season. Liam, let's start with you because Southampton were busy, bro. I can't lie. You got some business done. Obviously, Nathan Jones is sitting there thinking, this is now going to be my team coming forward. What's your thoughts on the window, and does it change your expectations of Southampton's season, Liam?
No, I'm really happy with the window. I think we've got players in the right areas that we needed. It's sorry about that. It's unfortunately it's a bit late in the window. Obviously waiting until 31st for a month to sign a striker in the wing is probably, obviously we've gotten both in, but not really good enough for me. We've had games during January where we've lost games by 1-0 because we haven't had that attacking presence. And we've had since summer. Well, we've had all summer, and the final striker didn't find one. Then we've had the next 6 months to find one, and we didn't get one in straight away. For me, which is just ridiculous. But obviously, we've got both the deals done. I'm happy with it. I'm just a bit frustrated that we didn't get it sorted sooner because we've lost a lot of games by margins, and where we could have had an attacking player to make a difference, and we haven't. So obviously happy to get it done, but a bit too little, too late.
Yeah, man. Listen, I love that comment. Sorry, I've just pinned it because it's let's all laugh at Tottenham, even though they're not actually on the panel tonight. Yeah, listen, Liam, I got to say, I didn't feel like you could be too disappointed because of the players you brought in and because of the number of players you brought in. I think with Southampton, there's a need. You could be in a situation like Everton, who sell Anthony Gordon for that amount of money and then do nothing with it. I mean, I was shocked, absolutely stunned. For Sean Dyche to come in, I think that's a great appointment for them, and I think they've got an unbelievable chance now of staying up. But to not add anything to that already pretty poor squad, I think is still going to be hard, even for Sean Dyche. I mean, Sean Dyche has got some players at the back that he knows. He's got some players that used to be at Burnley that he knows, and he's got that kind of old school centre forward in Calvert-Lewin, if he stays fit, that he could utilise. But I still think they're in trouble. I really do. And I think that Southampton likewise are. But I do think that with the young players, you've actually got something to actually try to enjoy, because you've actually got some really good players that look like they're going to be top in a few years' time. And I think Southampton have always had that. Just wanted to touch on the Carabao Cup. Obviously, Newcastle and Manchester United. We'll come to Dave in a minute as well. What's your thoughts on that, Liam? Are you like, I know you would have loved to have gone on to win that competition, but is it just about, so what, we're out, let's just try and stay in this league now? Or what's your thoughts on, as a fan of Southampton now?
Look, obviously, if we went into the second leg with a result where we were either winning or drawing, I'd have been a bit more like, disappointed. But going to St James's Park 1-0 down, you're already like trying to go up a hill. It's just impossible sometimes. But when conceding 2 goals in the first 20 minutes, it's just this game. You've already done the game over by 20 minutes, and you're thinking, what's the point of coming up here? But we gave Newcastle a game across both legs, and we were just generally unlucky. We missed chances where if we had a strike on the pitch, like I just said, that could score goals, we'd probably maybe have won the tie. But I mean, fair play to Newcastle. They put in a result. I thought they could have been a lot better, and I thought we could have been a lot better. But it is what it is. We've got to focus on the league now. We've got to a semi-final of the cup, and we've still got a massive opportunity to go to Wembley this season in the FA Cup. We've got Luton or Grimsby. If we win that game, then we're 90 minutes away from Wembley. So for me, it isn't that disappointing. I'm quite confident that we will get to an FA Cup semi-final, depending on if we do win the game or get a decent quarter-final tie. So overall, I'm not too bothered. It gets a bit more money in the club, and to go up to Newcastle on Tuesday night for a semi-final, 3,500 Saints fans, take it any day, mate. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I can't lie, man. I always want trophies, but I am in a privileged position where I'm never in a relegation battle, and I hope I'm never going to see Arsenal in a relegation battle. But if it gets to a stage where that ever happens, then I think I'd be in your boots, man. You go for it, and then you just say, do you know what? Number priority, don't go down, because the Championship is hell, absolute hell. It just no one's guaranteed going straight back up anymore, are they? So you want to make sure that you're there. I will say, I think Nathan Jones has actually deserved a little bit more credit than he's given, because I think that although he came in and was a bit kind of everyone accepted that he was never going to take over from Ralph and do a great job. I actually don't think he's been bad from what I've seen so far. I think there's parts of Southampton's game which has actually been quite good to watch and quite attractive. So I hope you stay up, because I like the club and I like your fans and I like some of the players you've produced from your academy. But, I just want to ask you lastly, Liam, how confident are you that you've put yourself in the best position now with Jones as manager and utilise that transfer window? You're quite confident now that you'll be able to beat the drop?
I obviously feel a lot better after the transfer window. Obviously, I know Nathan Jones had a few wins, but only one of them have been in the Premier League, and the Premier League is where it counts. We can't play really well in the cup and not play well in the league. So, we've got a month coming up where we've got Brentford, Wolves, Chelsea, and Leeds, and after that, it's a really, really difficult time for us. So, if we don't get at least 9 points, then for me, I think it's game over. Even though obviously people a lot say, look, it's only 6 points between us in 20th and Forest in 13th, but every other team's winning. Every other team's got a better squad than us. So if we can't beat the teams around us, or the teams who are just that little bit better than us, when it gets to the big sides and we're still 6 points behind it's just going to get further and further down. So I'm obviously a bit more confident in that we've got players in, but I'm still not too confident that we'll do it.
Anyone on the panel see Southampton going down?
Yeah. I've got to be honest. For me, it was with the Everton appointment. That was the tipping point for me. I think if they'd have got Bielsa, for example, who seemed to be their first choice, I think they'd have been down and out, no question about it. I think now that they've got Sean Dyche, they've got players at the club who are Sean Dyche type players, if you know what I mean. And I think he'll work wonders for them. You see what he did at Burnley for so long, and you take the talent that were in those Burnley squads and compare them to the talent that's in this Everton squad, and you're taking this Everton squad every day of the week, even without Anthony Gordon. So I think Sean Dyche will really get a good tune out of Everton, make them into a solid team. Whether that'll be it's a solid team to start pushing them far up the table, I don't know. But I think relegation's off the cards, if I'm being totally honest, for Everton. Don't get me wrong, I think they will struggle. Obviously, it's not going to be an overnight thing for Sean Dyche. He's not going to turn them into world beaters overnight. But I do think by the end of the season, they'll be out of the relegation battle. And for me, it's either going to be Leeds or West Ham that drop into it.
Oh, I hope West Ham go down.
No, but with Southampton, just quickly, as good as some of the signings were, the biggest question mark for me is Nathan Jones. I know he's got some good results against us and against Man City as well, but I just don't see him keeping you guys up. I don't think he's got the experience as well, and you've seen as of late as well. It's not like everything is quickly flipped over with Southampton. Maybe the new players helps you and you get a bit more results there, but just his experience, I'm just not too sure if he's going to be the man to keep you up. And that's why with your transfer window, as good as some of those players are, it depends on the decision the club takes. If they want to sack Nathan Jones, which might be a bit crazy, then you have got some solid players to keep you up there. But then again, I don't think at this rate your board won't, because he's literally recently joined. So yeah, I think it's going to be a struggle because of your manager more than the actual players that you got there.
Ash?
Yeah, I'm the same. I think when the appointment was made of Nathan Jones, I was a little bit sceptical straight away. I don't know how you felt, Liam, when that appointment was made, but I think there was names out there that probably could have done a better job, or would have done a better job in the position that the team was in at the time than Nathan Jones, and I unfortunately I can see them going down.
Fair play, man. We'll see what happens, won't we? Dave, let's come to you, man. As a Forest fan, I think apart from Chelsea, you're a busy boy again, aren't you? I mean, like Chelsea have spent 600 million or whatever it is on the same amount of players that Forest have bought for about 600 grand, I think. But there we go. What thoughts on the Carabao Cup and your transfer window, Dave? Now that you seem to be signing players still, even though it's shut. What's going on?
Signing our younger brothers.
Now, listen, lads. I'm going to try and employ some brevity because I know we've not got that much time tonight because Potsy's off to Hollywood, right? But what I'm going to say is the Carabao Cup. I really enjoyed it because it was pressure free. It was a little deviation off the mainstream because the mainstream is 17th and nothing else. 17th. I spent the game last week at the City Ground, which I really enjoyed despite losing. We played some decent stuff, but United are a class above us. And I could never see us beating Manchester United, especially with Ten Hag in control now and Ronaldo gone and the Glazers selling up. I could not see us beating them over two legs. So I never gave Forest a chance. I was doing I'm a Forest fan and I want us to win. But football logic, and I've played and coached and managed long enough to know that logic comes into it, could not see us beating Manchester United. So I enjoyed the two games, but I spent all of those two games thinking about Leeds United on Sunday. Because Leeds United on Sunday is a cup final.
It's massive.
Right? Yeah. It's massive. While I'm on here, can I just send some good wishes to me top mate, Joe Wayman. What a wonderful lad he is, Mr. Leeds United. So thinking of Joe in particular, like with this game on Sunday coming up. But we were better last night. We actually created something, but United were the better team over both legs. And
I thought you played well. I thought Brendan Johnson and who was it? There was another guy who had another chance.
Freuler.
Yes, I thought it could have made it a couple. I thought, you know what, if you had your shooting boots on, that could have been an easy. That could have been a really good game. Second
what I would say, Dan, is towards the end, Danilo had a fantastic shot, which Tom Heaton made a brilliant save from. You know, what you would see there with Forest is they played all right last week. They were just too open. They kind of went and had a go. Sam Surridge's goal stands last week instead of his knee being like, a centimetre offside, and it's a different game. And then last night, what Forest did, despite the fact that it was pretty much a lost cause, they didn't play like it was a lost cause. I was really proud of Forest's honesty last night. They went and gave it a go, a little bit like Southampton did. And on the subject of Southampton, we're all saying Southampton are going to go down, and that kind of looks likely. But Southampton have played some decent stuff. They outplayed City, so chuck that in. And second half against Newcastle, who thought it was a done deal, started to sweat a bit. So I'm not totally writing Southampton off. In terms of us and the transfer window, my bottom line is that the injury list has forced us into having to go and buy more. So Dean Henderson was injured, which kind of necessitated Keelan Navas.
That's an amazing signing, by the way. How the hell did you get him?
It is. It is.
I know he's 49, but
Taiwo Awoniyi's out. He got injured at Southampton, and that looked as it has turned out to be a long-term injury. So Chris Wood's come in. Ayew knows Steve Cooper, so that's an old boys reunion. Shelvey could be really interesting because Shelvey, he's been around the block. I think what you've got guys of experience, Navas, Shelvey, Ayew, Wood, who are going to come in order to try and make that 17th, which is everything, make that a reality. And I think if Henderson's fit, if Awoniyi's fit, if Ryan Yates isn't poorly, and we're not sure what's up with Ryan yet, and wishing him all well because he's such a lovely lad. And we haven't yet. Morgan's going to be out. Jesse's been out. Nia Carty's been out. If that injury list was shorter and briefer, like I'm trying to be, then I don't think we sign as many in this window. But I think we're in a not about. I mean, at the moment we've just been to a semi-final, which we're not done for 30 odd years, whatever. We're 13th, which is like beyond my wildest dreams, really. And a year ago, we were playing Barnsley at home. So the perspective is all there. So I'm relatively sanguine. But I'm telling you now, I'm not sitting here thinking that we're definitely staying up. And I don't think any of us can. I don't think Ash can.
No.
I don't think Liam can. I don't think little Dan at Wolves can. I don't think Joe can. We've got to go game to game and see where it takes us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, man. Did I hear it right? I was on the phone earlier and I was half listening to Sky Sports News that Forest are looking at whether they can register Ayew or O'Brien, and they're not sure which one because there's only one more they can put in. Is that right?
Yeah. I've seen what I believe to be the list of 25 tonight on Twitter. Although, you know, with it being Twitter, who knows whether it's fake news or non-fake news. I struggle, you know. Being just a little bit short of my 60th birthday, maybe I'm losing touch with technology. I don't know. But I saw the 25 and Andre Ayew was in it and poor old Lewis O'Brien was not in it. And there have been some Forest supporters saying that the club have treated Lewis poorly. Not sure that's the case. I think what has happened has been some crossed wires and some red tape misunderstandings, I think mainly by Blackburn to get Lewis on board on a loan deal. So I think Blackburn are putting an appeal into the EFL next week. And hopefully what I'd like is, you know, Andre Ayew is in the building and I'm hoping that Lewis O'Brien gets his move because he struggled, but he's a good lad and he's got a good attitude. So I hope he gets some football at Blackburn.
Nick is saying O'Brien's out of the 25 and so Steve Cook. So
yeah.
No surprises there really. If they're bringing in Ayew, they're obviously bringing him in to use him. So fair play.
Yeah.
Wanted to ask this because Pads has put up in a good question, and I'll open this to the panel. Says, Dan, can you ask the panel what they think about Bournemouth's window and if that changes their minds on their survival? I reckon they had a good window. Spent a lot of money, which, to be fair, the chairman said they were going to do. I think they spent about 50-odd million, to be fair, which is great money for Bournemouth to be spending. I still think they're in trouble, but does anyone not?
I think it's a bit like the same situation with us.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Same situation with Southampton.
It is.
Yeah, they brought in brilliant players. It's just the manager.
I saw Bournemouth a fortnight ago when we went down there and drew 1-1. And I thought that there's a lad that they'd signed called Utara, a French lad, I think, or they'd signed him from France. And a winger, and he looked quite sharp. In fact, he set Jadon Anthony's goal up. As to the other guys they've signed up, I don't really know. I mean, to be honest with you, I've had that much to think about with my own club and signing, you know, ant heaps and termites and all sorts. I mean, millions coming into Forest. I've kind of lost touch of other clubs, you know.
They spent good money.
Yeah, they spent money, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to save Bournemouth. I do think
I would trust Nathan Jones more than Gary O'Neill, I think, at the moment.
Wow, yeah, and that's the problem, isn't it? You've got the manager there that you look at and go, "Core, yeah, they're definitely staying up with him in charge," and I think that could be a problem. To be fair, so fair enough. D, let's move to you, man, because you signed Sambi Lokonga from us. We did a show yesterday, people. If no one's checked it out, make sure you go to Back of the Nest, check that one out. Me and D are on there talking about whether we believe it to be a good signing or not. I know your thoughts on it, but the panel and the listeners don't. So what's your thoughts on the transfer window for Palace? Obviously, it wasn't the only business that you did, but what do you make of it, bro?
No, I'm happy for Lokonga, as I said yesterday as well. He's finally joined the serious club. He's going to be playing under a better manager as well. So, you know, finally he's out there. As you saw in the Amazon documentary, the guy was stressful. He was stressing at Arsenal. So I'm happy for him. But look, all jokes aside, we got solid play. We got a player that has potential as well. And that's what I like about the move. I know we haven't got option to buy, but we've desperately needed a midfielder. The fact that we're playing Jeffrey Schlupp in midfield in 2023, it was baffling me. It was frustrating me. I just couldn't do it.
Ashley's smiling. He knows of Jeffrey Schlupp.
Yeah. I mean, in 2023, we're playing him in midfield. Is he a left-back midfielder, striker? I don't even know. He's played everywhere at Palace.
Yeah.
So we need a midfielder. And I think it's a smart move for all parties involved because Lokonga, he clearly needed a step down. And sometimes you need that in players to realise the potential. I mean, Ruben Loftus-Cheek done it. Coming to Palace and then he went to Chelsea. I know that injuries have hurt his chances, but Conor Gallagher, we saw it as well. So it's not just a case of, Lokonga's a bad player because he didn't do at Arsenal. The expectations at Arsenal are different to Palace. So I'm excited by the move. I think Patrick Vieira is the right manager for him. I'm not saying Arteta is a bad manager, but sometimes you need like an icon in the game, a legend in the game, especially a midfielder to help out polish his game, because we know that defensively he's not the greatest, but then you got Patrick Vieira as a manager. So I think it'll help him. Consistent Premier League minutes, Premier League legend or midfielder as a manager to improve the parts of his game that he needs to improve upon. And he's got 6 months. He's got 6 months to prove it to Arsenal, to prove it to Palace, and to decide his next move in his career. I think this is very important for him.
Yeah, I said to you before, I don't think there's a better manager to learn off than Patrick Vieira. You know, there's a lot into his game that he's got in terms of his passing ability. But if you look at a hard-hitting midfielder, he's not that guy. And I think Vieira needs to bring that out of him so that he can allow him to be an all-round midfielder, because he's not somebody that I would want to anchor my midfield, but he could certainly do a job as an 8. And Jeffrey Schlupp, if that's who you're playing, then he's going to get ahead of him, isn't he? I mean, Jeffrey Schlupp is, for me, is the best fantasy football name out there. 2 girls, 1 Schlupp.
Well, if he doesn't get ahead of Jeffrey Schlupp, let's just say this: I don't think he's got a good chance in the Premier League to be a Premier League midfielder.
No.
But then again,
no,
if you guys want Jeffrey Schlupp, I think you could take him as well. Arsenal, I think he'll be a good role player for you lot, especially coming from the bench. Because when reality hits in, Dan, and you lot are not challenging for the title, you're going back to 5th, 6th, 7th. You might need Jeffrey Schlupp coming off the bench. That's what I think.
Listen, take him.
I'm sure, yeah, Forrest will be fighting us for him. They need
I've just written his name. I've just written his name down. I'm going to send it to Steve Cooper, mate.
Well, I'm surprised. Forest want everyone, don't they? So they probably want Patrick Vieira as well as a player.
They've tried to sign him other today.
Yeah, fair play, man. Does anyone think Sambi Lokonga is a good signing for Palace?
It would be nice to see him get more game time. I'm excited to see him there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I've not really seen an awful lot of him, so I can't really give an opinion on it. So yeah, same as Ash, I'm looking forward to seeing a bit more of him, seeing what he's got, seeing a bit more about him, if you know what I mean. So it's going to be, Palace are going to be an interesting team to watch this second half of the season. Got some decent players, brought in some decent players in key areas as well. So it's going to be a good one to watch.
We scouted him before he joined Arsenal. That's what we said. That's what I think of Steve Parish, our chairman. He said that we've been looking at him for a few years. So that was the comment. So we know about him. We know of his talents. And you have to remember, before he joined Arsenal, they all praises. There's a reason why he did join Arsenal. I mean, he's not a bad football player. He just, the system or whatever it was, it just didn't suit him, man, at the time. So for me, I'm excited. And as I said, if he doesn't take Jeffrey Schlupp's spot in the next 6 months, then that's a message in itself that he probably needs to step maybe a low down level. I don't know where that is, maybe to Championship or go back abroad. But yeah, I think it'll work out. But in terms of my expectation for the rest of the season, it doesn't really change as much. I'll be honest. It's still similar. I think we'll be 12th. Where I mean, yeah, they're in about 12th, 11th, or maybe 13th.
Yeah, I agree. I think Palace will just about stay up. So let's move on.
Just remember, hold up, before we move on, but when you left that comment, just before we move on, just remember, technically it's February, but in football terms, what is it, like Boxing Day, New Year's? Just remember.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah, just remember, all I have to say is you've got some hard games coming up. Go past Everton, then we'll talk seriously.
We'll do that. I look forward to March when Palace come to the Emirates.
I can't wait. I can't wait for Zaha to go back to his playground and play with a few of your players.
Someone please clip this up.
Yeah. Look at this absolute chest from Dean. Absolute chest.
After a 6-0 Arsenal win.
Oh, I love it. I would love it.
Zaha sent off.
3.0 rated.
Too much dropping.
Listen, I'd love to see that. I think when you look at it, in all seriousness, Thierry Henry, Vincent Kompany, and Patrick Vieira, whether you think they're top quality managers / coaches, they were top quality players, and all three of them rate this kid. They've all said that, Vincent Kompany said he's got the potential to be a Yaya Toure figure. Now, I think from what I've seen, that's extreme, but there's obviously potential for the kid. Thierry Henry likes him in Belgium.
Wake up. You're sleeping. Huh? You're sleeping. Wake up.
Well,
wake up.
Listen.
You lost.
Make sure that he's doing that for you, man. Make sure he's a Yaya Toure for you. Let's make sure he's not a Matthew Flamini signing for you. Do you know what I mean? Or a
Let's
Shamak.
just hope he's not like El Neni. Let's just say that. Let's hope he's not like El Neni.
That's what we do, man. That's what we do. We say, "Oh, Palace, do you want Yaya Sanogo? Here you go, have him." You know what I mean? That's what we do, man.
Best thing is Palace will
just remember, you tried to bring our players over like Zaha. You tried it. But then again, he didn't want to join. It's not a smaller club, but he didn't want to join an unserious club. Let's just
Zaha's a gooner, man. He'd take us tomorrow if we were
serious. He's a gooner. Imagine he supports Arsenal and he still didn't join Arsenal when you guys wanted him. That says a lot about your team.
I don't know who said you
join
wanted
Tottenham, a serious club, better stadium.
Oh my! Listen to this guy.
Better stadium. Don't worry. Once they have the rotations in the summer, they'll be up there as well. Don't worry, man.
To kick back in. I can't believe I've gone a fortnight, 3 weeks without my dose of D. It's fantastic.
Man said a serious club like Spurs. Oh my God, absolute zero trophies. A striker that's chained to the radiator. A manager who's losing his hair and wants to leave. Oh, yeah, they're serious. All right, calm.
Let's see. All right. Just remember, you haven't won the league yet. I'm just saying, you haven't won the league yet. And last time you won the league was 2005.
We have won it before. This is coming from a Palace fan who I've never seen win the Premier League in my life. Well, it's been 19 years since you won the league.
There's a reason why Beyonce's performing at Tottenham and not Arsenal. Let's just say that. There's a reason why Mudrik went to Chelsea. There's a reason why Mudrik went to Chelsea over than Arsenal as well. Look, I mean, there's bigger clubs than Arsenal, aren't there? In London.
There are bigger clubs than Arsenal. Palace aren't one of them, mate. That's for sure. That's for certain. Let's move. Ash, let's come to you, man. Leicester did a bit of business. Did you like when you fainted and then picked yourself up and realised you actually did sign a player? What did you make of your window, bro?
Oh, I'm buzzing because, well, I'll say buzzing. 3 out of the 4 positions I wanted and have been tweeting like mad the last couple of weeks have been signed. We got a left back in because I just don't think Thomas is up to it. I think he needs to go out on loan to the Championship and earn his stripes a little bit. I think it'll really help the young lad and then he could come back a different player. So we got Christensen in. We've seen him for 20, 30 minutes against Walsall in the FA Cup. And I nearly fell over because I seen a left back doing an overlap. You know, I forgot what this is like with Rodgers' ball at the minute. You know, and he done an overlap, and it was amazing. So he looks bright. He's a big guy. Looked quick. Looked agile. So I think he's going to be one to watch. Exciting. We got a winger in Tete, the Brazilian who was on loan at Lyon. I know there's a bit of mess that we're going to have to deal with Shakhtar in the summer because of the Ukrainian war and everything going on if we want him permanently. I think we've got to do a bit of business to keep hold of him, but I think the option's there if I'm right. And then we've brought in a centre-back as well, Harry Satar. So, yeah.
Quality.
I'm buzzing.
I'm excited by that, by the way.
Yeah, he's out this weekend, I think, because he's got a bit of a hip injury, which the Stoke fans... Yeah. The Stoke fans thought he was... sort of playing up to it because he wanted to move away, but Rodgers did confirm that he has actually got a knock on his hip, and the reason he missed them last 2 games was that he was injured. So, yeah, I'm happy overall.
Ash,
yeah.
Ash, how good was Suter in the World Cup for Australia? I thought he was outstanding.
Unreal. And you know, if he can get Faze firing, and we've got Ricardo coming back, and we've got Christensen, it's a different back 4. It's a completely different back 4.
That's the player as well, Ricardo Pereira. People have forgotten how long he's been out for, man.
He's training now, and he's playing. Next week, he's having a game for the 23s, and Rodgers is really happy with his progress. So they're throwing him back in the mix soon. I know, obviously, he's getting on, but Johnny Evans is in contention again. Samare's back. Madison's back. The only
typical just before they play Villa.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Just after they play Forest.
I think Samari and Evans are missing this weekend though, Billy, but they're in contention to be back in the long run. But yeah, honestly, do I think that the goalkeeper situation could still land us in trouble? Yes, I do. I genuinely don't think Danny Ward is good enough, but. Will a different defence in front of him change that? We're yet to see, aren't we? So I'm excited about seeing the winger, Tete. Obviously, these YouTube videos, they made Ahmed Musa look good, so I'm not going on them. But I am excited to see if he's going to bring that missing width that we've had all season, and hopefully he can get Barnes back firing as well if they're playing a bit wider. But yeah, excited overall. I think this second half of the season, we've got to focus on staying up. We've got to be realistic still. It's not going to change overnight. There's still a lot going on there, but the noise around the club is more positive, especially with Top doing what he did yesterday, which was taking all of the debt off the club, the 196 million, and putting it under the King Power franchise. So now FFP is not going to be a problem, and we've got the stadium expansion going on. So I think Leicester mean business again. Finally.
It's taken some time. Do you know what though, Ash, right? In seriousness, in the next 6-7 games, if Brendan puts you close to the relegation fight, I would just pull the plug and go and just get rid of him. And I'll tell you why. Because if you can't stay up with them players you've just mentioned, like this is key as well. Someone put it in the chat. You kept hold of Yuri Tielemans and Maddison. That's massive. Absolutely key, right? So you've just said that you got Ricardo coming back. You mentioned you got Justin James. You've got obviously Castagna, good at fullback. At centre back, you've just brought a new guy in. That face actually looks all right. I appreciate the goalkeeper situation is not ideal, and I thought maybe you would have looked at that, but you haven't. Midfield, Tielemans and Maddison back. Samara, you've mentioned as well. I think up top, if Vardy can score, Iniacho can score. I think Harvey Barnes needs to get back into this mix because he's one of your better players. You shouldn't be in the relegation zone without players, man. You should not.
No, we shouldn't. We absolutely shouldn't. I mean, I know injuries has been a big part of it. Obviously, we've had Maddison in and out all season, but when he did have a consistent string of games, we sort of went like 4 or 5 unbeaten, and we were looking really good. And then the World Cup knocked the stuffing out of us. Maddison was injured just before we went to the World Cup. Then we've come back and we were all out at sea again. We're no good. A few more knocks and we were short on players. But we have got a tough set of fixtures coming up. Obviously, like this weekend's going to be no easy game at all against Villa away. And then I think we've got like Arsenal coming up as well. Man United coming up. We've got a real tough run of 4 or 5 games. But sometimes they're the better fixtures to have, especially when you've got fresh faces in, because your tails are up and you just want to go and have a go, don't you? And I think that's what Leicester have got to do now. We've got to look at it like we're in a scrap and pour a bit of commitment in. Obviously, we've kept hold of Tielemans and Maddison. They know they're here now till the end of the season, so let's get on with it.
Yeah,
but I agree with you, Dan. Rodgers should, fight. If we lose sort of another 6 or 7 games and we look like we're in a scrap with them players, then I do think we'll have to hit the emergency button and get somebody in.
I mean, I don't think you'll go down, but if you even flirt with it, it's criminal with your squad, with your team. It should be happening.
It happened in my Football Manager, and I took over Leicester. And I seriously did. Seriously, in my Football Manager, it happened, and I took over Leicester. So what I decided to do, bring in a new goalkeeper, whole new backline. The problem is, spoiler alert, in the summer, Tielemans and Maddison could be a problem because they're going to want out. And so what I done was I just said, you're not leaving, and they'll just sulk him. But then you have to. It's hard. It's hard with Leicester. Like I feel sorry for Brendan Rodgers. Not an easy job. I know it firsthand.
I mean, D, just take them over, mate. If you kept them up and you got Tielemans and Maddison to stay.
Now,
D,
scouting is needed. Yeah.
D, were you in charge of Leicester when they came to the City Ground 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Oh, no. I'm trying to forget about that.
I wasn't involved there.
It's been a long time, Ash. I've been waiting for you, mate. I'm so sorry.
That's the game that they brought D in
you
for.
Skip past that.
I spent that whole
That's
game.
when I probably signed for the club after a game like that.
I spent that whole game thinking about Ashley Graham. I wonder what he's doing. I wonder what he's up to.
Oh, mate, I tell you, I must admit, like I honestly would be shocked if Leicester flirt with relegation. I look at that side and I think they'll pick it back up. They will. And Brendan is not a shocker.
Yeah, he's not a bad manager. He's not a bad.
Leicester will be all right.
Yeah, we've got a lot of home games against the teams in and around us. We've done a lot of the away fixtures, to be honest. So that's another thing that sort of makes me feel good. We've been to West Ham, we've been to Everton, we've been to Wolves. And they've all got to come to us now. And they're the 3 names that sort of come to mind that I think could be down there and struggling, as well as sort of Southampton and Leeds, maybe. Even Bournemouth.
There's a lot worse teams.
Yeah.
There are, man. Big up, Dor. I hope you're well, Dor. Good to see you, man. And thanks for joining. I have to get you on here again soon, man. It's been too long, bruv. Listen, Billy.
When I retire.
Yeah. Long time left yet for that, Dave. Billy, I ain't going to lie. Unless I missed something, I thought Villa might have been a little bit more active, man. What's your thoughts, bruv?
Yeah, I thought we were going to be a little bit more active, to be honest with you. But from my understanding, we've got the money, but we just don't want to pay silly January prices for them, which I completely understand and I completely respect as well. You know, it's not like we're going through a huge injury crisis. You know, we've got a decent squad of players there, but we have also let a little bit of the what's the word? The deadwood. There we go. Got there eventually. We've let a bit of the deadwood go. So it's not been too bad of a window. I'm quite chilled about it, to be honest with you. Some Villa fans are a little bit stressed. Well, what if we do get a couple of injuries? Guendouzi was the player that we'd have all liked to have seen, but the right price wasn't there, and we decided not to.
What did they want? Like 40 million or something?
So something like that. What I've read today, whether it's true or not, is we wanted to pay 26 million, something like that, and they were holding out for 44. So we were never going to come close anyway. So
he probably is 30 million, I'd say. He probably
is.
I mean,
we'll try again in the summer probably, and see where we go. From my understanding, like I say, we've got the money. There's no real financial fair play problems. We can go big in the summer, and I expect us to go big in the summer. I just think Emery's targets weren't attainable in the January window. We all know how hard it is to sign players in the January window, and I think Emery wants to bring players in that are going to make us a better first team. He wants to bring first teamers in, and then these first teamers become the squad players. You know, so. You know, I'm fairly relaxed on it, like I say. Yes.
Can I ask you though, Bill, right? And serious, because I think you'll be busy in the summer. I think you will. Villa always spend, right? I've got two questions on Villa. The first one is the Danny Ings one. Like that come out of nowhere for me. I never saw that coming, if I'm honest. Did you replace Ings?
We bought in a youngster, Yon Duran, Colombian from Chicago Fire. Only 19, I think. I think we spent about 18 million on him. So I don't think he was supposed to be a direct Danny Ings replacement, but because we bought him in, I don't think it was right. We need a replacement instantly. I think when he came in and started training at Bodymore Heath, from my understanding, he's impressed. So I think as soon as you see that, Emery seems to be quite happy with him, and that I think that's it. If Watkins gets an injury, we'll probably see him come on and give him a go a bit earlier than what we'd like to have done. But it's one of them. Danny Ings, like I said last time I was on here, I think he's just not an Unai Emery player, and he wasn't in his plans. He's on huge wages, and for the price that we got, 15 million, it's probably better to just say thanks for what you've done and let him go, because he wanted first team football, completely understandable, and he was going to get that at West Ham. It's just unfortunate that he's got this injury. Unfortunate for Danny Ings' point of view.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's quite funny where West Ham are, to be fair. But yeah,
it's hilarious. Long may it continue.
They're still in Europe. They're still in Europe. Don't forget, they're still in Europe.
Yeah,
that's true.
That bloody Conference League thing.
On a vacation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're on a vacation. I mean, that's happening soon. So Lawless, they're probably. The funny thing is, they'll probably go past the round and stuff. Like that's the funny thing, because the competition ain't that serious. I don't know who they got next round though.
Hasn't been drawn yet, has it? But I tell you what, if they win that, oh my god, I'll never hear the end of it if they win that damn thing. I don't
think they're going to win it, to be fair.
No.
Oh, I hope they don't win that. I really don't. Then we can nick Declan Rice in the summer, which will be beautiful. And
I think
honestly,
you're getting regardless.
Cup,
Apparently,
you reckon?
I came out today and said that 65 to 70 million pound is a realistic one, realistic fee for Declan Rice.
Wow, I'll take him
that's
tomorrow.
a lot cheaper than what I thought.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I thought it'd be 100 million. So,
True, Billy.
So, yeah. So
I'd love it. I'd love him at Arsenal. I think if we get Declan Rice, God, we'll be serious. I'll tell you that. That is a serious signing. But we'll go from there. Bill, I wanted to ask you lastly, mate.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Man United, and Spurs definitely need a goalkeeper. And I would be absolutely shocked if one of them don't go for Emi Martinez. For me, I think he's ridiculous. You know what? I like him from his Arsenal days. I think what I've seen at Villa and obviously in the World Cups and Copa Americas, etc., he's been superb. Would you be worried at all that he might be tempted to leave Villa?
I've been in this situation before, Dan. You've asked me this. You've asked me a similar question before, and I was adamant that he wouldn't leave.
Yeah. Was that player Jack Grealish?
Yeah. The only thing is, I'm going to say that he won't leave. I don't think that any team would be willing to pay the amount of money that we would probably demand for him. He's on a long contract anyway. He's just signed it last year. We'll probably sign him up to a new contract. Who knows? You know, just to secure him, if you like. But I really can't see it going through. I feel like he doesn't owe us a thing, but I feel like he feels like he owes us something. If you know what I mean. He seems like the guy to kind of think, well, Villa gave me the opportunity to go on and be the goalkeeper that I am today. He's the reason why, or they're the reason, sorry, why we were able to win the World Cup, because they were the ones that gave me the platform to go on and be the goalkeeper that I am today. So I feel like he maybe feels that he owes us for that, if you know what I mean. And I think he's quite comfortable. You know, he's always posting things. His wife in particular, always posting things on social media. That we've got a really good South American group at the club, and it just feels like a really nice, healthy vibe. And I don't think Emi Martinez would particularly want to leave that, especially when we've got someone like Unai Emery coming in, especially if he's given assurances as well that we're going to be spending in the summer. And I think he can, if he isn't already, I think he can become a real Villa legend, because I absolutely adore the bloke and everyone else does.
Yeah, I think he's top, man. And I think that if I was either of those clubs, I mean, Lloris is dusted, mate. He's done. You know what I mean? But I don't know that Martinez would fancy a Spurs, if I'm honest. Obviously, it was at Arsenal. But I think he would go Chelsea United if the money was right. But maybe they're not looking at him. I've heard no rumours, Bill, I must say. So it might be that he's staying.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Just quickly before I move to Liam, Bill, you've got, obviously, Leicester. What's your thoughts and predictions for this one, mate?
It's going to be a real tough game. It's going to be a real tough game. You know, the new signings coming in as well. Thankfully, Suter's not going to be fit enough, it seems. But the left back and Maddison is fit enough. Tete is going to be fit enough, probably. You know, so it's going to be a completely different team than had we have played them a couple of weeks ago. I'm nervous for the game, as always. I don't want to go out on a limb and say that we're definitely going to win or that we're definitely going to lose. You know, I believe in Unai Emery. Do I believe that we can go and win? Absolutely. If we don't, then so be it. We've just caught Leicester at a bad time, and that's to be expected throughout the season. It's just typical. Man.
What's your prediction?
Oh, I don't like predictions. I'm going to say we win 2-1. There you go.
Fair play, man. Ash, might as well come to you first on that one. What's your thoughts? Leicester Villa, different Leicester, and what's your prediction as well, mate?
Yeah, hopefully there's like a different vibe around the camp for Leicester, and I think we can go and get a positive result. I'm going to be glass half full. I'm going to go 2-1 reverse. I think we can do it.
Fair play,
it's
man.
It's going to be a close game either way, to be fair.
Oh, it would be excellent. It'd be a cracker.
Yeah. 100%, man. Someone's asking you a question, Bill. What happened to Ramsey? That's not the Jacob Ramsey, is it? That's Aaron Ramsey,
No,
right?
that's his little brother, Aaron Ramsey. Yeah,
yeah.
Who's supposed to be better than Jacob anyway.
Oh
So,
wow.
Yeah. Well, this is what they all say. Is that if you've got a pair of brothers in the academy system, it always seems to be that the little one's gonna kind of go on and be better than the older brother. But I don't know if it ever really comes off.
Well, it ain't happened.
He's a top prospect either way.
Ain't happened with Phil Neville, Jude Bellingham's brother, Hazard. It hasn't happened.
Yeah,
we'll see,
exactly.
Man, we'll see.
The Ayew brothers are clear anyways.
Ayew
brothers,
brothers,
are the best brothers. Yeah, they're the best brothers in the league right now.
Lenny Messi wasn't very good, was he? Lenny Messi was terrible.
No, he was terrible. No, fair play, man. 2-1 apiece. Liam, Brentford, that's a tough game, bro. What are you expecting?
No, it's obviously going to be a tough game. Like Brentford are 8th in the league for a reason, and they've only lost one home game. I think they've only lost one at home, which was against Arsenal, in fact. So then absolutely no mugs. Thomas Frank's a fantastic manager, and they got a fantastic squad. So obviously we need to win, but if we get a point, I'll be happy. So I want to be optimistic, but I don't think we're going to have both our signings that we got on deadline day. So I think it'll be a tight game. I don't think Brentford will smash us. I think I'll go 2-1 Brentford.
That's very fair, mate. Very fair. I think you could take a point there. I think they're a good side, though. I must say, I think they're a very good side. But I think you could take a point there if you come and do a bit of magic. The way you've been playing of late, I think has been quite good to watch. So hopefully you pick up something, man. D, a battering at Old Trafford, do you reckon, mate?
Forget about that. Maz, 2 weeks time, I want to see you here. That's 2 weeks notice I'm giving you. I want to see you here. Don't run away. You got 2 weeks. Clear out your schedule, whatever you're doing. I want to see you in 2 weeks with your zebra coach, whatever it's called. I want to see you. What are you going to do against Patrick Vieira? Yeah.
So we won't see
Forget
you
about
in
Man
3
United.
weeks' time, then.
Focus on Brighton already. Yeah. I want to see Maz. But I'm talking about Man United. I mean, we got a point against them. We're facing them away from home. No pressure. They'll probably beat us. But if you can get a point, time waste from minute one, I'll take it. But yeah, this is a shout out to Maz. That's what I care about at this segment.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that game now. I cannot wait for that game. One of you is going to be in the mud. Let's hope it ain't you, D. Let's hope it ain't you.
Matoma's going to run rings around you, mate.
Before we talk about going in the mud, just go past Everton, yeah? That's what I have to say.
Listen, don't worry about Arsenal. You just concentrate. Yeah, Mitoma against Joel Ward. That'll be fun, D. You don't reckon?
Mitoma, yeah, that's what you think, but it's not going to be like that. There's going to be rotations. I'm expecting Chris Richards to play right back. He hasn't played a right back here, but he's the one that kept Rashford quiet against Man United. So I mean, if he kept Rashford quiet, then yeah, Mitoma, I think will be fine. Zaha won't be at that game as well, so yeah. It'll be fine regardless anyways. It's Brighton. It's not that deep.
Let's see, man. They're a good side, but they're not in my good books at the moment, Brighton, so I hope you beat them. Dave, let's come to you. Big game, bruv. Big game.
Massive.
What's your thoughts, man?
Well, based on our recent record against Leeds United at home, you know, that tends towards some confidence because obviously we've got form with them, you know, in the Championship in recent years. And I don't think we've lost him for a long, long time. But what I'm guaranteed of getting on Sunday is a game that's going to have like loads of commitment because I actually, if there's any other game when it was involving Leeds United, I really like watching Leeds United because Leeds United are mental. They give 1,000,000,000% every time. I actually think that team manages itself irrespective and in spite of Jesse Marsh. It's almost like he can't keep up with them. I mean, they did have a little rest at Accrington last week where they were quite calm and collected. But the thing that sticks in my head is Martin Keown was on a couple of weeks ago about after the Leeds-Brentford game. And Martin Keown described them as frantic. And I thought it was a brilliant way of describing Leeds. So I reckon what Forest have got to do, and Steve's the perfect guy for dealing with Leeds United, I think. Steve's really so calm and he'll have Forest organised and the spirit in the camp is good. You know, there were patches of good football last night, patches of good football last Wednesday, some good stuff at Bournemouth after a bit of a setback with the goal disallowed and then going behind. Leicester, we got that win there. We eventually organised ourselves, but Leicester should have been 2-0 up in that game. Let me just say that. So I actually think that Leeds will come, and they were like a gang of angry wasps, Leeds, and then it's up to Forest to kind of try and calm it down. But the way I'm looking at it is, if we get a win, that gives us 24 points from 21 games. And I don't know what you lads think, but I tend to think this year, with nobody being cut adrift at the bottom like Norwich were last year, I'm thinking 36, 37, 38 is what we should all be aspiring to stay in this division. So if we get a 24 by beating Leeds United on Sunday, then I think, while I'm not getting carried away at all, because we're Nottingham Forest and we're the newest kids on the block, that is a really good position for us to be in, especially when, you know, all the doomsayers back in like August and September were having us like relegated by December, Cooper out by September. Thank you, Tony Cascarino. You know, so I think we're in a decent little position. My only fear with Forest at the moment is the injury list. If that were to clear up, my confidence would be greater. You know, so we've still got this tumble dryer effect where people are coming in and going out and nothing's settled yet. So I'd like to get this injury list dealt with. And to be fair, the Forest medical staff are fantastic. They often get players back way before Steve Cooper had told the media that they would be back. So that's something. So I think Sunday, really, if you were a neutral this week, I think that's the one game that anybody would want to watch is Forest and Leeds. And then obviously in the same time, I'm hoping for wins for Brentford, Newcastle, Manchester United, Liverpool, and there's somebody else I'm thinking
Aston Villa.
Yeah, I would like Villa to win. Sorry, Ash. Billy, yeah. So, but you know what? I mean, it is still a melting pot down there for all of us. You know what I mean? So, we've got Leeds this week. Then we go to Fulham, which is not easy, and then we've got City the week after that. So you can forget that one. You know. So yeah, for us actually. The perspective, again, the other perspective is that for us to even be in this fight and to appear competitive at the moment, it is brilliant for us, you know. So we'll see where it goes.
That's going to be a cracker. I really like that game, and I'll be definitely looking towards that one. Listen, we're going to end it there. This has been a very good stream, and well done, Dave, for keeping it brief. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that is unreal. I was like, that's never going to happen. Do you know what I'm saying? But well played.
I was always an albums artist, Dan, but I've become a singles artist tonight, mate.
No, I love it, man. Absolutely love it. Big up everyone, man. Make sure you go follow these guys on socials. Yeah. Some news. I am going on holiday. If some of you didn't know already, Dan Lawless will be taking over the channel for a couple of weeks, so the shows will remain the same. So it gives Dan Lawless the chance to get onto the show that he actually should be on anyway, and host.
A little warm up.
D is going to be helping him, so there's going to be some content pumping out while I'm away. So the shows will continue, guys. Lee Judges is going to be replacing myself, so he will be the Arsenal rep on this channel, and there'll be some content throughout, so don't worry. I'm away for a couple of weeks, then I'll be back and we'll be back to the usual. But big up Lawless, big up D, both of you for helping me out to run this, and big up all of you guys for keep coming back, and all of the listeners. Smash a like if you haven't done so. We're way over 7k already, guys, so thank you so much for that. Our next target is 10k. Help us get there, please. It would be amazing. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. Do the same with these guys on their socials. Until then, we'll see you next time. Up the Arsenal, and hopefully you guys can all be happy by the time that I next see you. Take it easy, people. Laters.
Big up yourself, Dan.